It's been a while since I did a tag video, and I came across this wonderful tag called the BlockBuster Book Tag, which was created by Ian from Ianthereader Booktube channel. Now, it goes without saying that please check out his channel. He is amazing. Go and check out his content. Great booktube content. The tag is about movies, blockbusters, and I love watching movies and most of the movies that's listed in this tag. So I decided that this is the perfect pick for me to do a tag video after a brief hiatus. My name is Angela. I'm your own bookaholic brown name. You can call me Angie. In the channel, I talk about books that I have read, books that I am reading, books that I am planning to read, books that I hate, books that I love, all things related to books. So if you love books the way I do, please subscribe to my channel, and also please like, share and comment, because I love engaging with you guys and I reply to every single message, except if you're a bot. So I have talked enough now. Without wasting any more of your precious time, let's get into the tag. So the first question, and as Ian names it, challenge, is Back to the Future. It's one of my favorite science fiction movies, time travel movies of all time, and the prompt is name a book/series with multiple timelines. Now, I read a lot of psychological/mystery thrillers, and this year I discovered an amazing thriller writer called Alice Feeney. She is spectacular in writing great edge of the seat thriller. For this question, I would pick Rock Paper Scissors by Alice Feeney. It's a mystery story, very well crafted mystery, and definitely it has multiple perspectives told in different times during the story's plot line. So there are they are occurring at different timelines. So it's not like a science fiction-y timeline that I'm talking about, but the way the narration happens is like at different times when the story is happening. And the second book that I want to pick is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. Now, this is a book that I read this year as part of a buddy read with Anita from Anita Gade's channel. Amazing book. So this book talks about the story of this woman who was living in the 1970s in the United States of America, and she is somehow taken back to antebellum South during the peak of slave trade and slavery. And the experiences that she faces, the difficulty that she faces, and she gets to experience the horrors of slavery firsthand, and working in plantations and being beaten up, and the toll that it takes on her, and the cost she has to pay at the end. This book made me cry a lot, multiple times. A story beautifully told, and chronicles two different timelines. Second prompt is The Lord of the Rings. Name a book/series with your favorite fellowship/friend group. Most of the answers that I pick might have recency bias, because yeah, that's what I remember, that's what come into my mind when these questions are asked of me. So most of the books that I'm showing here might be what I finished reading just this year or just the end of last year. So I will pick Wheel of Time as my answer for this. You start this incredible journey with Ran, Matt, Egwene, and Nynaeve, Lan, Moraine, and all these people, and then you are so invested in their journey, in their adventure, and rooting for their victory. So and I love the relationship that is building between all these kids, who they are literally kids, like in their late teenage, and want to see what happens to them. So that is my answer for question number 2. Prompt number 3, Shrek. Name a book/series that ended up being better than it first appeared to be. I wanted to read this particular series because a lot of people were raving about it, of course, and at the same time there was a read along going on in one of the channels. I think it was in Leslie's channel, The Nerdy Narrative, and I decided that okay, let me jump in, let me start reading it. I want to know why everybody is so excited about this book. And considering the genre it was, it's kind of a steampunk fantasy, which is definitely not my favorite kind of fantasy genre, but I still wanted to, experiment. This year I wanted to try out genres that I'm not comfortable with. So I decided to join the read along, and I started reading the Books of Babel series, and I absolutely fell in love with this book. So I went in with an expectation that because it's a genre that I don't like much, like the steampunk fantasy genre, I still fell in love with characters. If you ask me to pick one book or one series from last year which I read, which I absolutely loved, then that would be this one, the Books of Babel series by Josiah Bancroft. Prompt number 4, Titanic. Name a book/series with your favorite romance or a book that is super sad. Favorite romance and a book that is so sad. I don't know what that is trying to imply. But anyways, I think I will take it as 2 questions here. So favorite romance is definitely a book, again, that made me cry a lot. So yeah, maybe it's 1 question or 2 questions and 1 answer. And that is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I lost the dust cover somewhere. I just cannot find it. I do not read YA much. I just read it because I love John Green. I've been following his YouTube channel for like decades. I think since the beginning of his channel. So I love John Green. In fact, he used to be the host of this channel called Crash Course, and especially Crash Course History. And I used to binge watch all those, repeatedly, in fact. So I was a fan of him from that time, and that's why I picked this book up, in fact. And boy, I just fell in love with this book. I bawled like a baby. Like, oh, there was no way of stopping my tears that day. So depressing and so heartbreaking. So that was my answer for Titanic, romance plus crying. But I want to pick another book for crying, and that is Thousand Splendid Suns by Khalid Hosseini. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I have to read it again because I've forgotten 80% of the book, but I remember the experience of reading that book. You know what I mean? So yeah, I want to definitely read that book sometime very soon. And if you guys, if you haven't read that book, I mean, you're missing a lot in life. Just pick it up and read it. Thousand Splendid Suns by Khalid Hosseini. Prompt number 5, E.T. Name a book/series with your favorite non-human character. So currently I'm navigating the realm of the Elderlings series by Robin Hobb, and I'm in the 2nd trilogy in the series, which is the Life Ship Traders series trilogy. I would pick Night Eyes from the Farseer trilogy as my favorite animal companion, favorite non-human character, basically. And why I'm picking Night Eyes is not because he's cute and he's an cute animal companion, no, but because Robin Hobb has written Night Eyes in such a non-condescending, non-patronizing way, like like humans are superior and you have this pet. No, Night Eyes talks to Fitz as an equal, as a brother, and that characterization I don't think I have ever seen in any other book where the non-human companion, like especially animal companions, are written this way, as an equal, and that's what I love about it. And so yeah, my favorite non-human character in any book till date is Night Eyes from the Farseer trilogy. Prompt number 6, Harry Potter. Name a book/series that makes you feel nostalgic. So I would definitely pick, Harry Potter. But if you ask me for an English book, because when I was growing up, I used to read a lot of English books, but also a lot of books in my native language, my mother tongue, Malayalam. So if you talk about English book, then this is the book that brings a lot of nostalgia for me. There are like 2 volumes of this book, the complete work of Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is one of my favorite books. You can see it's all gone and torn, and it doesn't have a back cover. So it's all worn out. That shows how much I have read this book. There's volume 2 also somewhere here. This is volume 1, and it brings such a nice, cozy, nostalgic feeling. So that's Sherlock Holmes. There's another book that I want to show you. I used to read a lot of comics in my mother tongue, a lot, while I was growing up, and one of them is this, which is called Bobbin Molium. Basically, this is a story of these two kids here, Bobbin and Molly, and all these side characters also make appearances always. This is Uppy Hippie. He's a hippie, and this is Ashan. This is Unnikutan. This is their mother, their father, who is a vakil, like an advocate, and this is the panchayat president. Panchayat in English would mean like a village council. That's called panchayat. So village council president and his wife, and so these are all side characters that make appearances, and it's mostly social and political satire. There is no Malayali in this world who has not read Bobbin and Molly. There is this saying that you actually learn reading Malayalam by reading Bobbin and Molly. This comic brings a lot of amazing memories and nostalgic feeling for me. So that was my answer. Question number 7, Avatar. Name a book/series with an incredibly immersive setting. This is a difficult question for me to answer. Immersive, I think Malazan would be a great answer. Yeah, I think I'll go with Malazan. I don't have a better answer, I think. I can't even qualify my answer with a justification, but what came to my mind all of a sudden when I thought about the word immersive is Malazan, so that's why I'm picking Malazan. Question number 8, Toy Story. Name a book/series intended for younger audiences that you love. So that would definitely be some YA series, as you might have already guessed. So I think that would be currently any of these, like Heartstopper or the Shadow and Bone series, or like Six of Crows. I would pick Six of Crows. Yeah, let's go with Six of Crows. I did not, because there's another question later on in this tag which I want to answer with Six of Crows. That's why I was kind of reluctant, but I think we will go with Six of Crows for this also. But then Heartstopper also. Oh my god, such a beautiful story. And I'm waiting to just finish the book so that I can watch the series on Netflix. So yeah, that's the answer for question number 8. Prompt number 9, James Bond. Name a book/series that rests on the shoulders of its protagonist. So I think for this I will choose the Millennium series by Stieg Larsson. I think if I show you the name of the first book in the series, you will recognize it if you don't already, which is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Guys, this is another book that I want to reread. I don't know when I will get the time. What a beautiful character she is, not in terms of appearance, but strong, and I want to be like that, I was so obsessed with her. I wanted to be like this girl, Lisbeth Salander, her name is. I want to be Lisbeth Salander for another 2 or 3 years after reading this book. I was so inspired by her. She is so kick-ass. So I think my pick for this question is definitely Lisbeth Salander from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Prompt number 10, Star Wars. Name your favorite multi-generational story. So for this, I will pick the Kingsbridge stories or novels, which is written by Ken Follett. I think I read it around 10 years, 11 years ago. But I remember that this was one of the most wonderful stories I've ever read until that point in time. But the first book is about, the building of a chapel or church, basically, or cathedral, basically, in 11th century England. Sounds very dry and boring, but it's not, trust me. And then in the second book talks about, a bunch of people living in the next generation, the future generation. So that would be my pick for the multi-generational story, which is my favorite. Prompt number 11, Rocky. Name a book/series with your favorite underdog. So for this, I think I will choose Win from the Final Empire, which is book number 1 in the Miss Bond trilogy. And definitely Win is, you know, this half-ratted kid, you know, who doesn't have a good upbringing, and we see in that first book itself how she, you know, overcomes all her challenges and difficulties and struggles. That's my pick. Win from the Final Empire, which is book number 1 of the Miss Bond series by Brando Sando. Next is an easy peasy one, which is Mission Impossible. Name your favorite heist story, and it's right up here, which is The Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. I mean, it doesn't need further elaboration, does it? I mean, it is one of the favorite heists that I have read. But I want to add one more book to that, which is The Lives of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. I love this. This is one of my favorite series. I know there's mixed feelings about this book, like mixed reviews and stuff like that, but I absolutely love this. I don't understand, like, you know, when people are complaining about the slow pace in between. I never felt that this was. I absolutely love this. I mean, this was 10,000 times faster than Name of the Wind. So I don't know why people are complaining about this book. I mean, this book should be up there in the list of great heist fantasy story. So yeah, those are my 2 picks for this prompt. Another of my favorite movies, Pirates of the Caribbean. Name a book/series with a shady character that you can't help but love. I think I will choose Gatsby from The Great Gatsby by Scott Fitzgerald, because, you know, when the novel starts out, you don't know what his intentions are. He is, you know, kind of creepy. He's staring at this distant house where Daisy is there and, you know, kind of stalking her. And you get kind of a creepy vibe from him. But towards the end of the story, I fell in love with Mr. Gatsby. So yeah, that would be my pick, I think. Number 14, The Fast and the Furious. Name a book/series with a super fast-paced plot. I think I will choose one of the thrillers that I have read. Or I think I'll go with The Anxious People by Frederick Backman. Definitely it was a very interesting book. Mystery thriller, for example, and there is a lot of character study also going on in the story. I love the narration. I loved the book because it was fast-paced as well, and at the same time quite interesting. I was totally invested in the story and I loved it from beginning till end. So that was Frederick Backman's Anxious People. Last question in this tag is Marvel/DC Universe. Name a book/series with a huge payoff. Now for this, I thought a lot. You know, I thought I could have picked any of the fantasy series that I've read recently, and you know, they would be a fair answer. But I wanted to pick something from a different genre, so I picked a thriller. And this year I read The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. I loved that book. I have reviewed that, you know, in one of my wrap-up videos. Absolutely loved it. And you know, you guys, you have to read it till the last sentence, because the last paragraph, this story takes a crazy turn, and like there is a huge twist in the last paragraph. It was a huge book to read. How many pages were there? Let me check. 560 pages. So it's if you think about a thriller, it's definitely a long haul. But if you stay for the entire length of the story, it's quite rewarding, because the last paragraph, you will just be, what the hell? And then the story is over. So yeah, it was a great payoff for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this tag video, and I hope my answers made some sense. I mean, like, I just, you know, I tried my best. That's all I can say about it. But yeah, this was a great fun tag video to do. And thanks to Ian for creating this original tag. And guys, please, while you're at it, subscribe, comment, share, do your thing. I will be back with another video before you know it. This is Angie signing off. Bye-bye.